Hi, this is Danny of the Dutch old school death metal band Burial Remains, and you are listening to the Bloodshed with a Vampire on Metal Messiah Radio International.
Danny, thank you very much for taking time out for this interview. It's a great honor to have you here. Welcome to the Metal Bloodshed with a Vampire on Metal Messiah Radio.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Before we go over to talk about the Burial Remains, I like for fans and the radio listener who don't know you to get to know you a little bit more. Danny Boonstra from Buitenpost, northeast of Friesland in the Netherlands. How did you decide to become a metal musician and who inspired you, Danny?
I've been inspired by a lot of things. It basically started for me with my neighbor, who was a bit older than me. He introduced me to bands like Possessed and Sepultura, Carcass at a very early age. He gave me some tapes to listen to, and on my bicycle on the way to school with my Walkman, just listening to the death metal and thrash metal. Well, I was like 13 years old already. So that's what's really basically got it started for me. Then I remember my dad taking me to see Toto one day, and I saw Simon Phillips playing the drums, and I was like, oh God, I want to play the drums. And that's where it all started for me. I started taking lessons. I've been drumming for about 20 years now.
Very good. Danny, you was or still are parts of bands out of Leeuwarden, Friesland in the northern of Netherlands. I'm talking about the melodic death thrash metal band Disintegrate and the progressive death metal band Dimaeon.
Yes.
I remember the band released in 2010 with Disintegrate, Parasite of a Shifting Future, a great album. I love tunes like The Art of Clairvoyance, Twisters of Fate, to say some. And also, you guys has an album out with the band Dimaeon. This is the album you released in 2013, Collapse of the Anthropocene. Are you still part of this band, and are you guys working on new releases?
I am still both. Basically, Disintegrate is on a hiatus at the moment. We are busy with life, basically, and so we don't really have time to record anything new right now. So we took some time off and to see where things are going. Maybe we'll pick it up afterwards, after the summer, when some of the band members are finished with school and work projects. Maybe we'll get it started again, but that's the future with that is uncertain right now. And for Dimaeon, it's going to be busy. We have a new album recorded, which will be released in November, December, 6 years after Collapse, with a new vocalist as well. So that took some time off of the process as well. There's some things happening. Both the bands I'm still active with, but Disintegrate just not right now.
We're going to have this great chance to meet you again at the end of the year for the interview with Dimaeon's new album.
Yeah,
okay.
Should be out November 29 is what we are scheduling right now. So, we're having a new album. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear the first sound of this band. I mean, after 6 years. Wow.
Yeah, well, the new vocalist as well, and we've recorded our first official video with it as well. So we're probably going to premiere that somewhere in October.
Wow.
So around that time, there will definitely be some new music online. Yeah.
Okay, going back to what we hear for, the foundation for Burial Remains was late in December 2016 when inspired by the early death metal scene, Autopsy, Bolt Thrower, Benediction.
Yeah.
And the HM2 sound of the Swedish scene, Grief, Dismember, a band was formed under the moniker of MIASMA of GUILT by Wim de Vries, who also is part of Grim Fate and Boal and Wolters, Departure Souls, together with Philippus Yntema and Dimaeon and Boal. They immediately started writing songs, and in April, drummer Danny Boonstra of Disintegrate and Dimaeon was asked to join. Since all member that was part of MIASMA of GUILT was part of the bands coming from Friesland, how did Wim and Rai contacted you, and was it fun to be part of a brand new band? I mean, formed from your friends, hometown friends?
Well, I didn't know Wim at the time yet. It came from Philippus, who I play with in Dimaeon, and he's a good friend with Wim, and they started out this project. And basically, they asked me first, like, would you care to revisit some of the drum parts that we had written for the songs that was like not really working, and they would like to have an actual drummer take a look at that stuff. So I changed some patterns, and I said like, oh, this is much better now, but now the rest sounds iffy as well. So maybe could you do all the songs for us? Then they made it like, could you like make it like you actually can play it, so we maybe can go live later on? And I was like, well, should I just join the band then? Well, basically that's what happened with me joining, and very exciting. I was not really into the old school death metal myself. I listened to a lot of music, also old school death metal, but not really into the scene, But it was really mind opening for me as well to join that. It takes a different approach to drumming as well. So it was really interesting for me to join.
Danny, since you're coming from Friesland, I like to ask you, how is the metal scene in Friesland has developed over the years?
Wow, that's a difficult question. It's been quite slow at the moment. There's a lot of older bands like Dimaeon and Disintegrate as well that are just taking it slow or just disappearing. A lot of bands quit. There are some young guys now that are trying to pick up the metal scene again, and it's kind of growing again, but it has been quiet for a few years. About 10 years ago, we had a really, really steady, stable group of bands that actually were friends together as well. And I'm not really sure if that's still the case, but there are some interesting bands coming again. So I think it's going up again. Yeah.
Okay, going back to the band, Wim and Rai started MIASMA of GUILT. Actually, the project didn't work out as planned, and they parted ways by the end of 2017. Yes. Wim, Philippus, and you, Danny, decided to continue with the music, respectfully changing the name to Burial Remains. My question is, how come the three of you decided to continue with the band under another name, and what's the band new name Burial Remains stand for? And could you please present us the band's current lineup?
Basically, what happened is that, it didn't work out as MIASMA of GUILT, basically because the name and lyrics and stuff that was all part of Rai. We decided to so it's not going to work out as MIASMA of GUILT. We want to continue with the music, so we changed our name just to let it be something really new and not take credit for anything that Rai did for us. And we wanted to make it so that you like the logo and the name, that you can just like instantly know and instantly see what you're dealing with. Old school fucking death metal, and that's what we wanted to show. And that's what we think is Burial Remains. You hear the name, you see the logo, you instantly know, like, this is old school death metal. And that's what we wanted to present.
Okay, so in other words, you guys is not only continue on the same path that you was doing with Rai on the band MIASMA of GUILT, but you changed completely the song, the type of lyrics.
We wrote new lyrics for it. The music was basically ours. And we decided to continue with the music that we had written. We were proud of the material. We think the material was good enough to be released. So we decided we wanted to do something with it. So we started up Burial Remains with the three of us, just Philippus, Wim, and myself, basically first. And then we decided we needed a vocalist. So we started searching for what could be done when vocal-wise, like do we do it ourselves or do we ask somebody? And that is basically where Sven came in.
How did you get in touch with Sven?
Sven was originally planned to do some guest vocals with the MIASMA of GUILT project, and he had already recorded his vocals for the Tormentor cover that is on the album, and so he was already part of it. And when we heard his vocal tracks, we were like, this is what we need for the album. So we asked him would you be interested in doing the entire album for us. He said like, okay, if I can find the time to do it, you write me some lyrics and I'll make the best out of it. And that's how it started. And he recorded his parts over a couple of months in 2018 for us. And we are like beyond stoked with the material. He did an excellent job. Yeah, it was great to have him on the album, and great honor for us as well, because he's with Fleshcrawl. And we're big Fleshcrawl fans, so it's like having him doing an album together with him was like a huge honor. And he's such a nice guy.
I had this great opportunity to return after 5 years. I returned back home to Eindhoven for the Eindhoven Metal meeting last year, 2018, and I had this great opportunity to see a Fleshcrawl performing. What a great show! Wow!
Yeah. It's an amazing band. So we
Yeah.
are truly honored to have him on the album.
Danny, before we proceed to talk over the band debut album, I like to ask you, what type of drum set are you using? Yes, playing with Burial Remains.
I don't really have my own drum kit, like the shell cases. So I usually, when we play in a rehearsal room, it has Tama drums, and I use setup with 3 crash cymbals, all Silgians and Sabians. Just the basics, 2 toms and 2 floor toms. Just a bit more than the usual old school, but I like to be creative somewhat. So that's basically what I use. I don't have my own drum kit anymore, just because of the space right now.
Yeah.
But our rehearsal room as well, with Dimaeon, where we practice, has that setup for bands that play there. So when we play gigs with Dimaeon or Burial Remains doesn't play live yet, so there's a backline and there's always a drums kit present, so there's no really a need for me to have something right now. But the cymbals and the snare, and I have that. Yeah.
Burial Remains, brand new opus, Trinity of Deceptions, will be released on July 12, 2019 through Transcending Obscurity Records. Danny, could you present us a tracking list, Trinity of Deception, please?
So the first track opens, it's called Crucifixion of the Vanquished. Opens slow, melodically, riff, and then just after the intro, it goes full overdrive, full on skank beats, full on old school death metal, with some cool mid-tempo parts and a nice solo in there as well. And then we have coming into They Crawl. Second track is just a steamroller of a track, just goes full on death metal. Third track is called, the title track is Trinity of Deception, which is more of a varied track, has some very cool double bass rhythm, mid-tempo double bass rhythms, still high-paced, but that's basically the entire album is high-paced. The fourth track is more of the mid-tempo. To break the album a bit, it's called March of the Undead. It has kind of like that anthem feel, with a chorus in there that you can repeat. And then we go on to Burn With Me, which is a track where we have Ralph Hauber of Revel in Flesh doing vocals on there, which we are really proud of. He wrote his own lyrics for the track, and it's a really cool track, and it really, really breaks the album. It's really high-paced, it's fast, but it's with his distinct vocals, just another nice touch to the album. And then we go to track 6, which is the longest track of the album. It's called Days of Dread, and it's also a steamroller, but with a really nice mid-tempo outro on the track with some cool samples in there as well. And we close the album off with our version of Tormentor by Creator, which we are big fans of. So we wanted to pay tribute and record a Creator song, and Tormentor turned out great. So that's basically the album when you run through it. Steamroller, we'd like to call it. Yeah, full high-speed death metal.
Danny, thank you very much for the description of the album tracking list.
No problem.
Emerging from the crusty, bloody crypts of death metal comes Burial Remains with their debut full-length title, Trinity of Deception. Devastating, crushing, and disembowelling, Burial Remains rips through 7 onslaught of pure grisly death. Danny, how was the writing process been, and how long has it taken to get it done? And were there any songs written during the short life of MIASMA of GUILT?
Basically, everything was written musically to be MIASMA of GUILT. But when that didn't work out, we turned it into Burial Remains. So all the songs were already written when we started Burial Remains. We only had to write new lyrics for it and have Sven record them. And the writing process, it all went really natural. The first track we wrote is the first track on the album. The second track is the second track on the album. So it all flowed like that when we were writing it. I wasn't really part of the writing of the riffs yet. I joined a bit later to add something on the drums. When I heard the first material, I was like, this is amazing. This is awesome. So I really want to be part of this.
Let me add this to it for you to know if you didn't hear it yet. Crucifixion of the Vanquish. I mean, the first time I listened to this first release of the album, it was like a punch in the face, right into the face. It hit me very hard. I mean, and that, I believe, has done to many other fans of the old school death metal.
Yeah, the reception has been really great. We are still a bit overwhelmed by how well everybody's responding to it. Like we were sure it was going to be okay. Good. It was a good album. We were fully in support of our own material, but to have such a reception, like everybody we talked to and the reviews as well, we have actually had some reviews coming in at a 10 out of a 10. like perfect. Like we're like, whoa, okay. So we're doing something right. The old fucks with our midlife crisis, death metal, are doing something right. So yeah, we're still a bit overwhelmed by the reception. We're really happy with the album as well. It came really naturally. So basically, the feel that we had when writing the stuff, I think it transpires to the audience as well, which is great.
and the album is not even out.
It's not even out yet. No, no, but we're close. Just 2.5 weeks, and it will be released. We can't wait for everybody to hear it in its entirety. Yeah. Going to be great.
Mix and master by Johnny Peterson, vocalist of bands like One Bat, Godforsaken, Ash Cloud, Head for the Dead, Just Before Dawn, Hurricane, and many more. How was the experience, you guys had with Johnny for the mixing and mastering of this album?
Excellent. He's an excellent guy. He's really into the old school death metal as well. He's deep into the scene, so he understands exactly how it should sound. We didn't really have to explain a lot, like we wanted to sound like this and like this. He really kind of basically in the first 2 mixes had nailed it down to like what we wanted it to sound like, and then it's just like tweaking some stuff. So it was really an easy process for us to have him mix and master the album. It went really quickly, and we were very satisfied with the result. Yeah, so that was a no-brainer basically. We asked him, he was enthusiastic, and
you was just sending it back and forth. You didn't go to Sweden.
No, we didn't. He lives in England right now.
Okay.
We didn't go to him. It was just through the internet. We sent the files over. We basically told him like, this is what we want, and then he gave us a rough mix, like, is this about what you want? And then from there we just learned on tweaking it, just going back and forth a little bit, but not very extensively. We were quite happy with the sound from the beginning, and we were just tweaking it to make it perfect, basically, and turned out great. Yeah.
As you were saying while you was describing the tracking list, the album also featured guest vocals on track "Burn With Me" by Ralph Halber, a Revel of Fresh band that we interviewed a couple years ago. How was this collaboration gone? And first of all, how come you invited Ralph as a guest vocalist?
Well, again, that comes back to MIASMA of GUILT, because he was already confirmed as a guest vocalist when we were working on that project. And when we continue with the music and Under Burial Remains, we talked to Ralph, like, would you still be interested in doing the vocals for the track that you had already written the lyrics for? And he said, yeah, no problem, man. We just going to do it. And it went from there. He recorded his vocals, and when we received his vocals, we were like, oh God, this is sick. He's such an amazing vocalist. He made so much effort into it, not just doing one vocal line for each track, but dubs everywhere. Like some of the parts have like 4 vocal tracks over each other, and is just amazing. We were very, very, very happy with how that turned out.
These Germans are very talented and very cool guys.
It's an amazing band, and they're recording some new stuff, so very excited to hear that as well. Yeah.
The band has released 2 videos out for the tracks Crucifixion for the Vanquish, and later, just a week ago, for the one They Crawl.
Yes.
Are there more videos to be premiered before the album release date?
We've talked about it. All these things are made by our label, and we've talked about doing more videos. So probably in the next 2 weeks before the album release, at least one track will be premiered, I think.
Okay.
And after the album is released, we've talked about doing videos for every song on the album, but not sure if that is going to happen. But we would like that, and I'm pretty sure there may be also an album stream. But
is there a real film video going to be premiered since the 2 ones you did for? It's like more album promotion videos.
Yeah, basically it will be like that. That's all because the label handles all those things. We don't really have much of a say in it goes on promotion wise. We have our ideas, and we just talk to them about what we would like, and we'll see what we can make happen. I'm not sure we're going to do like a full on professional band video. I'd love to do it, but there has to be funds for that as well. So we have to remain to be seen.
Danny, is it a little too soon for you, or would you like to announce it now? Which track will be premiered in a couple of weeks from now?
I would be happy to tell you, but I don't really know. I think if it's up to us, maybe it would be the title track. But the label is really busy right now with other releases as well.
Yeah,
so we just have to wait and see.
This is totally up to the record label.
Yeah.
Okay, talking about the record label, last December you guys signed with the Indian record label Transcending Obscurity Records for the release of this debut album. How was this process gone? Did you contact them, or they contacting you? Was there more labels involved, and how are everything going so far, just a couple weeks before the album will be released?
We made a demo from one of the tracks with the vocals of Sven already, and we sent that out to a number of labels that we were interested in signing with. We were like, we're going to do it right, or don't do it at all. Transcending Obscurity was one of the labels that we were interested in signing with, because they have some amazing bands on there, with Heads for the Dead and Master, Paganizer on there. So it will be a label that suits us, and their releases are all of high quality, box sets and CDs and vinyl stuff that they bring out. It all looks great. So we're like, this could be a good label for us. And basically within 24 hours, Kunal from Transcending had replied to us like, I'm very, very interested, and this is what I can do for you. And he was really eager to sign us. We were eager to sign with his label. So it was basically really quickly. Johnny has a lot of his bands under that label as well, with Heads for the Dead and Henry King, for instance. So we talked to Johnny, like, what's it like to work with Transcending Obscurity, and he had nothing but positive to say. So that was a good reference for us to seal to sign with them really quickly. Yeah.
I have to say, what a phenomenal artwork from Martus Art of Sadistic Forest fame.
Yeah.
Was this artwork specially done for you? And what would you want to express with it? And are you guys happy with the job done? And would you return to Martus Art, in the future?
Definitely. We were really happy with his work. We liked his, we knew his work previously before we contacted him. And we were like, okay, well, what can we do? He has a lot of drawings that he hasn't sold yet. So we were just taking a look to his portfolio, like, well, what do you have for sale for us? We found the image that is now the cover artwork, and we felt it suited the title Trinity of Deception, which is basically about religion, but not really anti-religion, but this deception of religion. And we felt the artwork really suited the guy with the Bible and the cross and the zombies on top of that. It had that old school feel that we wanted, and it also suited the title as well. And we just asked, like, is this still available? He said, yeah, this is available. We would love to have it, man.
He didn't add extra.
We were just really happy with what was available. We went with that. Together with the label, we decided on taking the blue color for the album to make it really stand out, because the artwork, the drawing that he did is obviously ink drawing, which is black and white. We altered that to suit the blue of the release, and we were just, it looks amazing. Just really stand out, and your typical old school death metal, but then again, when you look at it, it's typical old school death metal. Yeah.
Talking about this glorious design by Martus Art, the band already has a different kind of merchandises available with the album artwork logo on. Could you tell us what are all these merchandises that the fans can get and where to get them?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a lot of available from the start. You can already pre-order stuff from either the Transcending Obscurity website, tometal.com, or from our buryremains.bandcamp.com, our Bandcamp, where you can order that stuff. There's just a CD digipack. There's a CD box set that has a poster and a patch, and I think it's coasters or fridge magnet with our logo in it as well, and obviously the CD. And then there's a t-shirt with the artwork, and there's a long sleeve with the artwork and a back print, and also a hoodie, a zipper hoodie, available with also the logo on the front, the artwork on the back, and two Necronomicon symbols that we use on the hood. So yeah, it all looks stunning. With the silver and blue colors of the album, it looks amazing, and we're really happy with it, with what's available already from the start. And we've been hearing that it's been going really fast with the pre-orders, and it's limited. So please, if you want something, just jump on it if you need to, because it might be gone right after the release.
Danny, and what is the full pack box set consist of?
It has been changed recently. Okay. There was some issues at the printing. I'm not sure, but at least I know there's a patch in there and a poster as well, and maybe this sticker.
I've read it on the Bandcamp. There's a whole lot of things in that package.
It's a lot of merchandise in the package, and it's very reasonably priced. I was actually startled with the price, and I go, okay, cool. It's just a gem to have. I think it can't wait. We don't have it yet, so we can't wait to receive it and look at it ourselves.
Every little aspect of this release has been taken care of by known professionals. Musically, this is a devastating slap of old school death metal that is worthy of being mentioned alongside the genre greats such as Carnage, Dismember, Entombed, and Grave. With the difference being that these guys are faster, hungrier, and play with maniacal energy. A great style of sound for fans of Grave, Entombed, Wombat, Crawl, Feral, a great band we interview, Heads for the Dead, Dismember, Paganizer, Revolting, and many more. So to all of you dying metalheads out there, you must have this masterpiece, Trinity of Deception, in your collection. You can already order it via the Bandcamp or the record label. Danny, almost at the end of this interview, the album will be out next month on July 12th via Transcending Obscurity Records.
Yes.
Will there be some kind of show or album release party in support of this album, at least in the band hometown of Drachten?
Not when the album is released. We are currently actually just talking about playing live, and we have confirmed one show, which will be Drachten Deathfest, which is our hometown show, together with Asphyx and Fleshcrawl and Massacre. So that's going to be a great death metal party, and we're really looking forward to it. But right now we're just looking towards like how are we going to play live, what will be the band, and can't really say yet who will be in the band and who won't and who will join us.
When will be this Drachten Deathfest?
It's on January 20th, so that's our first confirmed show, and that's what we are going to work towards with a live band.
Okay, since the band are formed in Drachten, which is a part of Friesland, and there's also Leeuwarden, where this great festival is being held into the Grave Festival, scheduled this year to be on August 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Yes.
Are you guys going to be performed there into the Grave Metal Festival, or will you be there as a fan attending the festival?
Most likely both not. Unfortunately, no, we won't be playing there. That's something that we can maybe be sure of. They have their lineup ready, and we don't have a live band ready. So that's a no, definitely. Not sure if any of us will attend. I am not, but that's because I'm on holiday. And not sure if the other guys are going. We will, however, be at Schonebeek Deathfest, which has a great lineup with Cancer and Slaughter Day coming to play. So that's where we will be. That's in September. And you'll see us around on other festivals probably, but not Into the Grave, most likely.
Yeah, I attended the festival the last couple of years, and it's getting bigger.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I like that, but it's their choice. We had the opportunity with Disintegrate to play in the first edition in 2011, I think it was, to open the festival, and it was really cozy, really small, really nice. And I don't really see the need for such a festival in the center of a city to grow to 3 days with a lot of bands, just too much to mention. And it's going to be a bit too massive, I think. But we'll have to wait and see what happens next year.
Up to now, my last question. So what for the rest of 2019, the band won't be playing any shows?
Not sure. If we get some great opportunities, we might play. We are working on getting that live band together, but it's too early to say when we will start rehearsing as a proper band with all members present, and that's difficult to say. If we have some cool opportunities in the November or December to do some shows as well, we would love to. We are interested in playing live. The music would suit live situations very well. We are looking forward to that, but basically now the focus is on the Deathfest in 2020, the first show.
I guess since the album is a brand new album, didn't even come out, I think it's going to take a couple months before you can start the promotion, I think. So we will see more of Burial Remains for what's 2020?
Yeah, we would love to. We are writing new material as well. We are talking to some bands to do some split releases, just to fill up the gap between the both full lengths that we between Trinity and a new album that we are currently writing. But we are not taking too drastic. We don't want to do it too fast to make a new album. It has to be equally as good or better than the last one. So we take our time. We have a lot of material. Wim is an actual riff machine. He is this ADHD guitarist, and he's using his medication, and we can hardly keep up with him. So if he stops his medication, we just need to start snorting cocaine just to keep up with him. Writing riffs, he's really fast. He just writes riffs, and it's basically all our working titles when we write songs there are called riff races. Riff race 1 till like 70 right now. It's just riff after riff after riff. It's a lot to process, a lot to get through, but all good materials. We are excited about the future, and I think with the new album we are writing is going to be great as well. Yeah.
Danny, I want to thank you very much once again to make this interview possible, and I want to hand you over the microphone of Metal Messiah Radio for you to invite all your fans to support the band, to buy this upcoming new album, and all the merchandises that you have already available, and to keep an eye on the band's camp and all the media to see when the bands will have any shows going on in order for them to attend. So the microphone is all yours, Danny.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for having us. It's an honor for me to talk to you and to promote our band like this. It's a really great opportunity. We are really looking forward to the album release, which will be in about 2.5 weeks. July 12th. It's an old school death metal crusher steamroller of an album. If you are into any form of old school death metal or just death metal in general, at least give us a chance to listen to, as it might blow you away. We are pretty sure it would. We have a killer digipack album, a killer CD box, some killer merchandise with shirts and hoodies and long sleeves available right now for pre-order already. So you can already claim your copy at buryremains.bandcamp.com or just go to tometal.com, to the store of Transcending Obscurity, our label, where you can find everything. And we hope everybody will take the time to check us out, and hopefully everybody will enjoy the album as much as we had making it. Thank you so much.
Danny, thank you very much. Say hello to the guys from me. Say hello to Wim, to Philippus, to Sven. And we'll keep in touch. As I said, we will have you back in interview for the new album of Dimaeon.
Yes, I am always available.
So in the meantime, all the good wishes with this great new album, Trinity of Deception.
Thank you so much.
Like I always say, metal on. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Death swallow skin from the heart of unholy tree. He comforts the earth therein, and man is the Lord of the sea. He controls the vigorous steam, he harnessed the lightning for hire. He drove the celestial team, and man is the Lord of the fire. Deep mouths from their thrones, deep-seated, the choirs of the eons declare the last of the demons defeated. For man is the Lord of the air. Arise, O man, in thy strength, the kingdom is thine to inherit, till the high gods witness at length that man is the Lord of the